Emergency team still on high alert after heavy downpours and massive flooding. All of that leaving a trail of destruction in that city. The Weather Service issuing an orange 6 level warning for today and tomorrow, meaning the disruptive rain is due to continue. Athi Mtongana joins us now. Athi, good afternoon. What's the latest?
How are you with Mother Nature?
Athi, good afternoon.
Well, Stephen, we're coming to you from Takai, and as you can see, there's a lot of wind, as much as Cape Townians and people just generally in the Western Cape have been cautioned about the disruptive rain. There's also wind that they must contend with. We are in Takai, as I said. There is a medical center where people had to be evacuated due to, obviously, the floods and the inclement weather. We could see there outside of the medical center a lot of water just on the road leading into the entrance. But this is Westlake River. I'm going to briefly move out of shot. Let me just see if my colleague will be able to zoom in and show you that what they're trying to do here is basically excavate this part, this particular section, so that the water from the river can perhaps flow through here, so that it can alleviate the pressure right at the beginning of the Westlake River. But I'm joined by the City of Cape Town's Mayor Jordan Hill-Lois, and I can imagine how busy you have been since the South African Weather Service issued that warning. Talk to us about your assessment with regards to all of the areas you've been to before we touch on where we are.
So we must be grateful for a few things. Firstly, we've had no loss of life. We've had no serious injuries. We had a close call earlier today where 3 people were trying to cross a fast-flowing stormwater canal in Parow in the north of the city and had to be rescued by Cape Town Fire and Rescue from that. But other than that, most of our electricity outages are resolved. The massive outage in Helderberg is resolved. But there is still a lot that is obviously of concern. There are many businesses, many thousands of homes that are inundated with water at the moment, and we are trying everything possible to try and get that water away, to dry up, to drain away as soon as we can, which is why we are here. This is one of the tactics or strategies that the city team has come up with. But, you know, our thoughts are absolutely with the thousands of people living in very tough conditions. And with, of course, with the many hundreds of city workers out there doing their very best, not sleeping, pumping water the entire night, dropping off sandbags, dropping off gravel and milling to try and help people dry out.
We understand that you've said, as the City of Cape Town, this is a far more worse condition than 2013. Talk to us about the comparison.
Yeah, we've had just over 60 millimeters of rain in about 12 hours. That is really a huge amount of rain. It's also quite concentrated into a short space of time. So it has really inundated a lot of our rivers and stormwater canals. Many of our rivers are at their 50-year flood lines. Most of our stormwater canals have burst their banks. So it's a big rain event. Most of the stormwater system has done its job. Most of the retention ponds are absolutely full. The rivers are pumping. The stormwater canals are flowing. But of course, there are many parts where the stormwater system has not handled the volume of water, and those are the places where we've got backup, where we've got businesses and homes that are underwater. Just before this, you and I were together at the hospital that you spoke about. There's some big businesses around that hospital that are also flooded, and that is why they are trying to do this, so that upstream can drain quicker.
Now, you're talking about the stormwater drainage system. A lot of people are saying this is an all too familiar scene. We've seen flooded streets and roads around Cape Town, certainly informal settlements as well. Then it speaks to what are you doing about the maintenance? What is being done over the years to try and decrease the significant impact of the floods?
So actually, until this weekend or this last few days, we've had a wonderful wet winter with a lot of rain, and the city has managed extremely well. In fact, just last week I was celebrating with the teams about having a brilliant April and May and first part of June, where we've had very little flooding around the city. And that is because of the amount of proactive pre-winter preparation that they are doing. This year we've cleaned 200 kilometers of stormwater drains before winter to prepare. Of course, we have 10,000 kilometers of stormwater drains, so there's always more that we can do. And we have to take these lessons, learn what do we learn out of it, where do we need to improve. But in general, I think actually we've had a very, very good experience so far. Until this deluge, when you get 60 mils in 12 hours, it's going to do this. No matter what happens, it's going to do this. This is a flood event.
What can you tell us about the plans for the informal settlements? We have certainly seen what's being done in some parts of Cape Town, like where we are in Turkey. What is the plan for informal settlements? Because they're the hardest hit, and especially bearing in mind that they have no other refuge, really.
We've got hundreds of people working in informal settlements, in poorer communities, in wherever there is flooding. We have people working, and there's a couple of things that we do. Where there's no stormwater system, we provide storm bags, sandbags, and milling and to dry out areas. We have pumps in those places to pump water out of those areas. In the most extreme cases, as we have now, we have people staying in public community halls and so on. And
have you gone to those sites, Mayor?
Yes, I have. Yeah, I've been out the entire day today, and will be for the rest of the day and probably for the rest of the week.
Hopefully we can tag along. I'd like to continue the conversation. I'm sure I'm running out of time. Well, Stephen, there you have it. The Mayor of the City of Cape Town, Jordan Hill-Lewis, crisscrossing various affected, flood-prone areas in and around the City of Cape Town, and we sure will be tagging along with him. Back to you in studio.
Athi Mtongana, thank you very much indeed, live from Cape Town there. The latest, of course, from the flooding there. Well, in other